All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Um, if you're out in the sunshine, you're welcome to stay back there, but if you want to squeeze in and grab a little shade, you're welcome to do that as well. Welcome to all our in-person guests here at Lake Tahoe Community College. Welcome to many of our very special guests who I'll have a chance to introduce here in a bit. Welcome to all of you who are joining us via the live stream that are interested to see what's taking place here at LTCC. My name is Jeff DeFranco, and I currently serve, and for the past 6.5 years, have served as superintendent president here at Lake Tahoe Community College. And I've been here as a vice president for about 11 years, or started as a vice president, and been here on campus for about 11 years. And I think based on right about when I came onto campus, folks were talking about what would it be like if we could have student housing? Wouldn't it be great if we could have student housing? What if we could offer affordable housing, right? These were the conversations. And today is really a culmination of more than a decade's worth of work by many of the folks that are here today, many who aren't here at this ceremony here today, but are very much with us here at LTCC that help make this possible. So welcome to what is truly a historical day for Lake Tahoe Community College. Before I go any further, I'd like to start with our land acknowledgement. This is a practice that we have here at LTCC. So I'd like to share that with you. As we come together as an educational community in Lake Tahoe, we acknowledge that we are gathered on the historical lands of its original inhabitants, the Washishu tribe. A land acknowledgement is a recognition of indigenous communities in the stewardship and protection of their cultural resources and homelands. We recognize the Washishu tribe and their native lands. We honor these ancestral grounds upon which we are collectively gathered, and we support the strength and resilience that the Washishu continue to show. It is especially fitting that we're to have that land acknowledgement here today as we break ground for housing, because there's been many of generations, beyond time can count, that lived here on these lands, and we're bringing folks back to these lands once again to live. All right, as we move forward, it's also a big year for us because LTCC is about to celebrate a milestone birthday. This academic year, we are turning the big 5-0. Yeah, right? It's a big birthday. So this March 2025 or 2024, we'll turn 50 from our inception date. Roberta Mason, you were here for that, right? Never thought you'd see the day. Yeah, thank you. And I am certain that with this project and with bringing student housing to campus, that the next 50 years and beyond will be nothing like the first 50 years. Like, this is going to fundamentally transform this campus, and as a result, continue to transform this community. So that's one thing that I'm really excited about. If you're here, you know that the state of California, and specifically the Lake Tahoe Basin, has been facing a significant housing crisis. For our students, this challenge is even more acute. We know that stable and affordable housing is key to supporting student full-time enrollment. There's research that shows it leads to higher GPA, and at the end of the day, on-time completion, and that's what we're really here to do. So although this is a housing project, this is really a student success project, right? I want folks to understand this is first and foremost about student success and completion. And that is why all of us here at Lake Tahoe Community College have been working to bring housing to this campus for more than a decade. I could tell you that a lot of work was done, and initially the cost to build here in the Tahoe Basin, combined with the desire to keep rents affordable, made it seem impossible, right? It was not possible. The project was significantly financially infeasible to keep the rents down until last year, when we received $39 million through the leadership of Governor Newsom and the California legislator through the California Higher Education Student Housing Program. That grant money, along with some others that I'll share here in a bit, has fundamentally transformed our ability to do something that was previously thought impossible. So before we go any further, I want to acknowledge the members of Governor Newsom's staff, our colleagues in the California legislature, one of them joining us here today, our colleagues at Department of Finance and the Chancellor's office, and everyone that made this project possible, because without their funding and their vision, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you to them. And I'm pleased to share that this project is not one of the kind. There is affordable housing projects, student housing projects taking place up and down the state at other California community colleges, the CSU, and the UC system. I am pleased to report that I think we're out in front. We're leading the way here at LTCC as we strive to do, and hopefully will be a model for the state as we move forward. I also want to acknowledge that this $39 million that's making this building construction possible was added to by the support of our local voters through the Measure F general obligation bond that many of you worked on that was approved in 2014. And it was that the funds from that bond that allowed for the planning of this. It actually allowed for what you see here behind it. It paid for all this pre-site development. Why did this matter? We knew we had to get the stage set if we were going to be able to take advantage of building this summer so we could continue to build through the winter. So I want to thank everyone that helped support Measure F, everyone that continues to pay for Measure F, many of you that served on the Measure F committees. I also want to thank our partners at the El Dorado Community Foundation and many of our local donors who are stepping up to raise funds for the community kitchen. This community kitchen will provide a place in the housing facility for students to come together, gather, break bread, and prepare meals beyond what's available to them in their rooms. So there are many partners that made this project possible. At the end of the day, what are we going to see? This facility right here. So you're looking out on it. Like right here, it's pretty much a fire lane in the front. Down on that site prep will be this facility. What you see here, it's somewhat like an L-shaped building. You see that front door. We kind of talk about this mountain modern look, right? We've really kept to the design of our history here at LTCC in the mountain, but also a modernized look. Multiple stories, right? We know coverage and land is very limited here in Lake Tahoe, so we've been able to do multiple stories to provide this for students. So this is the facility that's going to sprout out of the ground. The building construction starts now, and we will be completing this project in spring of 2025 with students ready to move in just 2 years from now in summer 2025. So pretty excited about that. Again, it's moving forward at record pace thanks to many of you. A little bit more about the building. So this building, key focus is affordable student housing, right? So it'll be dedicated to low-income, full-time students, right? So we're helping students achieve their degree by providing this. And I want you to hear these costs because they are remarkable, they are below market, and they are intended to help students succeed and focus on their studies above everything else. So for a single bed in a double occupancy room, their housing fee will be $500 a month, all in. For a single occupancy room, their housing fee will be $795 a month, all in. So very amazing rates, much less than our market, and what I believe will be a much better product at a much lower cost. And that's made possible due to the initial significant capital investment from the state of California and our other partners. There will be 31 apartments. The majority of them will be double occupancy, but we will have some single occupancy. They'll be fully furnished bedrooms, bed, desk, so on and so forth. In those rooms, there will also be microwaves, small kitchenette, sink, refrigerators, so they could do some basic meal prep. I already shared about the community kitchen that's being made possible by the El Dorado Community Foundation. Bill Roby and the foundation team, where are you guys at? There you go. Thank you for your effort and leadership on that. The other thing about this, and as a president, I got to admit this is one of my favorite amenities, is there will be a one-bedroom apartment for a full-time residential student living director there, because as we know, student issues don't just come up between 8 and 5 Monday and Friday. So that is something that we're doing. So we're really investing in their success. There will be opportunity for student RA resident advisors as well. There will be a lot of amenities, right? Study lounges. There's bicycle storage, locker storage for students, on-site mail delivery, laundry, basically everything you need as a student to kind of take care of your needs and succeed. As you know, if you're familiar with the community or if you're not, we're very conveniently located to the Greenway bike trail that goes through town just south of here. We have the newer mobility hub, right? This is the hub, the center of all public transportation in the community is right here. And so it'll really be set up for our students, many of whom may not have vehicles, to be able to get around our community. So we're excited about that. Additionally, just again to kind of give you the sense, I want you to envision what this will look like in 2 years. You're going to have this building, what you see back over here, 2 stories, looking over Trout Creek, right? It's going to be an amazing view. Like, I think many of us would love to live in this place, right? But you got to be a full-time student. Amazing view over Trout Creek, really connected to our natural ecosystems here, like that real Tahoe connection. But just a short walk into our student center and cafeteria facilities, right? Which has kind of been the back of campus, is now going to become a primary front door. Library and learning services is right here. So access to library, tutoring services, book lending library will be within a short walk. The physical education facility, all the outdoor fields, there'll be opportunities for students to recreate and be outside. So it's really going to transform this campus in this place. Finally, I want to just point out that this project is really kind of a cornerstone, right? You know, oftentimes the cornerstone goes in first. In this case, the cornerstone is going in, I don't want to say last. You know, we will do more beyond this, but it's the final piece that's going to pull a lot of this work together, especially the work we've done over the last decade due to Measure F improvements. I do want to give some key thank yous. I shared some of these already. Once again, Governor Newsom, his entire administration, the California legislator, Department of Finance, Chancellor's office, Board of Governors joining us here today for pursuing and allocating funds for this project. So once again, thanks to all of you. The project has been able to move forward in record time. We got this funding a little over a year ago, and that was due to the power of partnership, specifically our partners at the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency, the City of South Lake Tahoe, and the Division of State Architect, who really allowed the project to continue to move forward on a fast timeline, get all the necessary approvals so we can make that construction happen this year. So our friends from TRPA and the city, if you could raise your hand, if we could thank you for your efforts as well. I want to thank our partners, our design and project management partners at JK Architecture and the Cumming Group, for their partnership in the building design and the process management. We really did a lot of things. I mean, we definitely twisted a couple arms to get people convinced to do this 2-step approach. But at the end of the day, what it's allowed us to do is be here today and keep this project moving. So thank you to the members of the architectural team, the project management team, if you could raise your hand for your partnership in making this possible. All right, a couple more partners. I want to thank our partners at FW Carson, who did all this site work. They were, on schedule, under budget, right? That's everything you dream of in a construction partner to really, I say it's kind of set the table for what's next. I'm looking forward. We have many of our partners here from Creekside Builders. That is the firm that will be constructing the student housing building. They're very well represented here today. Please say hi to them. And with our colleagues at Creekside Builders, I'm looking forward to a successful project and an on-schedule project of the utmost importance to me as well, and looking forward to working together as we move forward. Finally, I want to thank some key members of the Lake Tahoe Community College team who made this possible. And really, the list is too long to read here today, so I'm just going to hit on a couple of high points of without them, who we would not be here today. So first and foremost, Laura Mattoon, Russie Egan, Michelle Batista. Raise your hand when I say your name. Amy Chilton and Al Frangione. These are all individuals that have worked on this project, some for a year, 2 years, some for 6, 7, 8 years to see this become a reality. So thank you to all of them and everyone else at LTCC, to the team that put this amazing event together. There's really too many thanks to give. I'd be here all day. At the end of the day, I believe, and I hope you'll see, that this project is a game changer for our college, our community, and most importantly, our students. All right, I'd now like to introduce our first of 4 speakers. This project would not have been possible without the support of current and past board members. They've been fully committed to the concept of residential living on campus. And I'm pleased to introduce our current board president, Tony Sears, to make a few remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Lake Tahoe Community College. It's hell getting old, so if you'll forgive me, I'm going to put on my reading glasses. On behalf of Lake Tahoe Community College's Board of Trustees, I would like to thank everyone who has helped to bring the student housing project forward, allowing us to break ground today. While it's impractical to list everyone individually, I want to make sure to first thank all of our local community for supporting the college in all the endeavors that we have committed to over all these years, including this one. Voter approval of Measure F in 2014 allowed us to begin exploring the potential for on-campus student housing, and that ensured that we were competitive and ready to apply as soon as the California Student Housing Grant funding was made available. I want to recognize all of the other current and past board members who supported student housing and were willing to dedicate campus resources to advancing the project planning, even when we were unsure whether full project funding could be obtained and in the face of what sometimes seemed like insurmountable obstacles. Your faith and courage are a big part of how we got here today. To President DeFranco, the LTC leadership team, and the many staff who supported this vision, although this process faced many challenges, your diligent work and relentless efforts to pursue planning, identify funding, and build partner coalitions got us to this point of ultimately bringing student housing to our campus. I want to thank the numerous organizations and community leaders who weighed in with the governor's office and the legislature to express how important this project is to our community. Your support and advocacy were instrumental to the success of our ability to get funding. Finally, and especially, thank you to Governor Newsom and the California State Legislature for appreciating the value of offering housing to our students and providing the avenue to accomplish this goal quickly and efficiently. This investment in the future will help more students achieve their dreams of obtaining quality higher education here at LTCC and within the California Community College system. Affordable and stable housing is a major factor in a student's ability to enroll in college and succeed. Adding housing to the array of programs and services offered by California's 116 community colleges means that our cumulative 1.8 million students will be able to get into college and graduate on time and without taking on burdensome loan debt. LTCC is proud to be a meaningful part of California's higher education system, and we are honored to have this opportunity to help lead the system in providing housing to our students. Aren't you glad that mine was shorter than his?
All right. Thank you, President Sears. Next up, I want you to have an opportunity to hear from one of our students. This has been a very active student on campus the last couple of years, and she's moving into her new role as student trustee. Please join me in welcoming student trustee Daniela Valdiva Guzman to talk about the importance of student housing for students here in the Tahoe Basin.
Thank you. Hello to all who join us today. My name is Daniela Valdivia Guzman. I am the student trustee for Lake Tahoe Community College. As a South Lake Tahoe born and raised native, I've seen the struggle that people face with housing in our community. As a college student, I attend classes and work at the same time. While I consider myself fortunate enough to live at home with my parents without paying rent, I'm well aware that's a luxury not all my classmates can afford. For many students, we work 30 to 40 hours a week, and the cost of living in South Lake Tahoe is expensive. Bills, food, gas, and rent all add up. At the end of the day, students struggle to make ends meet, and it's difficult, if not impossible, to continue attending school full-time. Community college students are among the most vulnerable in the California higher education system, and until recently, students enrolled in community colleges had fewer opportunities for financial aid, student housing, and other benefits. This project, by providing 100 beds for low-income and full-time students, will go a long way to ensure that students can enroll and complete their education at LTCC. Just this past weekend, I had the privilege of attending the Student Trustee Conference in Riverside, which allowed me to learn crucial information about how I can better support my classmates and my college. I'm excited that Chancellor Christian is here with us today, and I had the opportunity to learn about the Chancellor's Vision 2030, which focuses on supporting our students, our communities, and our planet while maintaining equality at the core of its efforts. I'm proud that LTCC is moving forward on this project, which aligns to Vision 2030 and ensures that all students, regardless of age, location, race, or financial background, have an opportunity to attend college and have access to affordable and stable housing. This is a major step forward in supporting our students, and I want to thank our elected leaders for their ongoing support for our college and for our housing project. And I thank you all today for being here with us to share this amazing project. Thank you.
Well done. All right. Next, I'm honored to introduce Senator Marie Alvarado-Gil. In her role in the Senate, she's uniquely positioned to continue to support this project and other projects up and down the state to ensure that funding for these projects remains a priority for the legislator. I want to let all of you know that in her short time in the Senate, she's proven herself as a champion for the Tahoe Basin. Even on the campaign trail, was very active in the Tahoe Basin, which we all appreciated as she came to speak with our staff and students. We're very excited that she could be here with us today. Please join me in welcoming Senator Marie Alvarado-Gil to the stage.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I want to talk a little bit about education as the equalizer, the great equalizer. Because in all of us, there's a story. And my story started over 30 years ago. I'm a daughter of immigrants. Both my parents immigrated from Mexico with very little education. And one of the main reasons was to give my brother and I a better life. My brother was born in Mexico, but I was born here. So English being my second language, the school for me is where I felt I would thrive. It's where I learned English. It's where I was fed, sometimes even where I was clothed through the lost and found. It's also where I found my mentors in teachers, right? So I always did very well in school. But because of the dynamics in my household, our family soon fell apart and I found myself in foster care. So as an adolescent, knowing that school was the place that could give me a future, I didn't have a lot of hope because I didn't have the stability at home. Well, I was very fortunate because my grandmother picked me up and she basically rescued me from a group home. But what that meant is I needed to go back and live where my grandma lived, which was Mexico. So here I was again, going to another community, learning another language, having to adapt in another education system. But what I knew is that I wanted to come back to the US and go to college. So I did that. So I came back when I was 17 and a half, specifically to go to school. And I went to my counselor at the high school and I said, I want to go to a four-year college. I'm ready. My grades were excellent. I was testing great. My SATs were great. And they said, well, you probably are going to struggle to go to college. And I was like, why? Because of housing and to take care of yourself. Because, I didn't have that backstop. Well, I was adamant. So I got accepted to UC Davis. I was on the track as an animal science major. Come third year, things started to collapse. I couldn't pay for my housing. I didn't have that backbone, and I dropped out of college. So my dream was really left there at a very young age, and I started all over again. And where I found that canopy of support and help was at my local community college. So I started taking classes in psychology and sociology and some of those areas that really connected me with my community. So although I have that love for animals, and I always will, it wasn't until I started working with children in my community and becoming an advocate for community projects just like this. My first community project that I spearheaded was a neighborhood center for kids with community development block grants. I wrote the grant, I helped with the design team, and I got to see it from the ground up. So later in life, I was able to go back to college, finish my bachelor's degree, finish my master's degree in public education, and be able to stand in front of you today as your state senator. It's the first woman in my family to go to college. Yeah. Now, it wasn't easy in any shape or form of the word, right? There was a lot of times where I hit my knees and I needed to really come to a good connection in my mind and my body to be able to say, okay, I'm ready to come back. So, being here in front of you, I am honored. I'm honored to serve the Lake Tahoe Basin community. I'm honored to serve the 13 counties that I represent in Senate District 4. And I'm honored to bring the voice of all of you to Sacramento to ensure that these projects continue to be funded, to ensure that the stories that permeate in your families and your community continue to be positive at the end, right? Our journeys are all different. We all get there a different way. But the main thing is that we get there and we're there to celebrate together, right? Right. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the legislature's 2023-24 budget. We did spare the delays and cuts to construction and student housing projects, providing debt-free college to foster youth, and assuring that the current $289 million for the state's middle class scholarship program will continue through 24-25. That is significant. I will continue to be an advocate for resources to support our community colleges that serve as the anchor of institutions in our rural communities. My husband and I have 6 kids between us both. 3 of them are currently in community colleges because we value and understand that education is that great equalizer. I will continue to advocate for critical needs for workforce development, health, and well-being with the flexibility to design programs that meet local needs, just like the Lake Tahoe Community College's forestry and fire programs. I want to again thank the local leaders, thank our leaders here on the ground, Governor Newsom and his staff, to ensure that the voice that you bring forward, that I can steward that as your leader in Sacramento. I'm excited to share that we have now, we're able to hire our very first Lake Tahoe representative, Heidi Meyerhoffs. She's not here with us today, but you very soon will meet her. But she will be here on the ground representing our team 3 days a week. So someone local from South Lake Tahoe. Yeah. Well, thank you. So without much ado, I will turn the microphone over to one of the most inspirational women that has continued to build the journey, pave the way for women like me and for many of the students that you see here at LTCC. Thank you.
She wasn't referring to me. So last but certainly not least, I'd like to introduce the California Community College Chancellor, Dr. Sonia Christian. She is our leader here at the statewide level. She's been a campus president. She's been a chancellor at the district level. She's been an academic leader. She's held many roles in community colleges in the state and beyond. And during this time, she's been a strong advocate for meeting the both academic and student support needs of our students. The support of the Chancellor's office, the Board of Governors, was critical to making these projects move forward. And so I'd like to welcome Dr. Christian to the podium to share some words.
Well, good afternoon. Just absolutely inspired by Senator Marie. What a champion for education. And I'm definitely getting on your calendar to visit with you, so thank you. Want to recognize this wonderful woman sitting right over here, one of my bosses, the past president of the Board of Governors for the California Community Colleges, Pamela Haynes. Please stand up and be recognized. And when Laura Mattoon pinged me to be here today, and there's no other place I would rather be, and Laura wanted me to talk about the significance of the housing projects for California community colleges. And I'm so pleased that there are folks from the system here, the Department of Finance, Chris Ferguson and team, thank you for being here. And I see from the league, Andy over there, thank you for making the drive. It's wonderful to be in Tahoe. And I think we're coming back, Pam, in, what was it, 2025 is what President DeFranco mentioned. So we're going to be back. So we're talking about housing, right? So I thought I would start my remarks by saying that We are all aware of the housing crisis plaguing California. That's kind of understating it. This crisis impacts our colleges and communities across the state. It is affecting our students more than ever, pushing them to working multiple jobs, sleeping in their cars, and all too often dropping out of school entirely. Simply put, tens of thousands of our students may not know where they're sleeping tonight. Affordable housing is vital to students' success. Without a stable living environment, students can't focus on their education, and it forces them to make difficult decisions about their educational goals. And again, the story of our own senator here is a testimony to this issue that has been plaguing the state for a while, and we've got to fix it. Like many barriers to students' success, the housing crisis disproportionately affects students of color and other traditionally underserved students. We cannot continue to fail them. Our time is now to address the housing crisis head on. So I have a proposal for the state of California. The community colleges are uniquely equipped to play a key role in helping address the state's housing shortage. The board president mentioned the 1.8 million students across California, and our enrollments are now on the uptick. There are so many individuals that need to come back to community college to skill up to meet the governor's ambitious goals for healthcare and for climate action. So imagine, in order to solve that housing crisis, we tap into California's community colleges. Our colleges are the backbone of our communities, opening the door to higher education for many students who wouldn't have been able to access it otherwise. Our system is an important partner to the state, to the cities, counties, and communities to plan and support affordable student housing, but I would say affordable housing, period. This is a no-brainer, folks. At least in my mind, it is simple. It's just a matter of partnerships and making it happen, all of us coming together. The state has already invested in the infrastructure for community colleges, every corner of California. So why not tap into that infrastructure and that asset? And in terms of the Board of Governors, I was going to bring Pam up here, but she said absolutely not, and I got to listen to my boss. So our Board of Governors are completely, 200%, right, if the math works, committed to the housing shortage and the impact on our students. This commitment led to the creation of the Affordable Student Housing Task Force to develop a framework that sets clear program goals for student housing within our system. And the Chancellor's office, now my office, also formed a student housing unit to support colleges. Our counterparts at the UCs and CSUs have been doing this, but the community colleges, we're just getting to student housing, which is absolutely fundamental. So our student housing unit that we have invested in with the sole purpose of helping out our colleges make this a reality. So what today's groundbreaking is truly a momentous occasion. And I was so happy to meet Roberta, 40 years as a trustee. Let's give it up for Roberta. Really now. And President DeFranco mentioned 50 years of celebrating. You've been here 40 years. You founded the community college. It's awesome. With other people, really? Okay. So we know that this is more than a simple turn of the shovel. This housing project at Lake Tahoe Community College is a promise to our students and an investment in this community and beyond. It represents and reinforces the system's commitment to our current students, to our future students, that the California community colleges will support the basic needs of our students to ensure their academic success. And before I wrap up, I want to give it up one more time to our fantastic student, Daniela. So let's give it up for Daniela. This is what we community colleges do. We produce amazing, amazing students that do miracles, impossible things for our state. So in conclusion, President DeFranco and Board Chair Tony Sears and all the trustees, on behalf of the Board of Governors, we salute you. Today will be a historic milestone for Lake Tahoe Community College and the entire community it serves. And Pam and I are just so pleased to be here and celebrate with you. Thank you.
All right. Well, I want to share a couple other things and what's next. I mean, first off, make sure you got one of these on the way in. I encourage you to give it a look. There's a lot of really interesting features about this facility and how it's designed to integrate with the rest of the campus and how it's designed to better serve students. So I encourage you to take a look at that. I want to thank you for joining us here to be part of this. I want to get on your calendar for 2025 when we actually cut the ribbon and open the doors. We're very committed to that time frame. We're excited to get students to move in here, and we'll be excited to have all of you back. And next time, bring a friend. All right. So next time, bring an additional friend. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to actually do the formal groundbreaking. So all of our speakers here are going to join me and the remaining members of the Board of Trustees, and we will do the first turning of the dirt for the groundbreaking for the building phase, right? So we've done the site work. This is really launching the building phase. But then we do have a number of photos lined up. We'd like our partners from TRPA in the city, all our partners from Sacramento, Department of Finance, Chancellor's office to have a chance to get a photo up there, our foundation board members, our partners with Creekside Builders and our project management team. So we're going to go through there's going to be a handful of those. You don't all have to sit around and wait for that. We will ask you to sit around and wait for the actual groundbreaking. But after that, there will be some photos. And then from there, we encourage you to join us in the library. If you've been on campus before, you probably don't know this door. It's kind of the secret back door over here on the south side of the library. You'll see that little pathway. Hey, Rusty, point. There you go. Nice job. There's a pathway there, and we'll be joining inside for some light hors d'oeuvres, some refreshments. There will be a slideshow running that will share some of the renderings of the inside of the facility if you want to see a little bit more about the facility. We will have a toast at or around 3:30 that we hope you join us for. So with that, I just want to encourage you to kind of stick around, say hello to the partners, learn more about this project as we move forward. So with that, I'm going to take this microphone with me and invite the members of the platform party here and my board members to come on over for the ceremonial turning of the earth. And Sonia and Marie, you're going to come next to me. Help Sonia. Should I put on my sunglasses? No sunglasses? No sunglasses. Sunglasses? No sunglasses? All right. Why don't you come right here? Okay. I'll save this for Sonia so she has. Oh, she can paint it. Sonia will be right here. Sure. Sonia's over here. Yeah. Yeah, and then let's get Pam. Grab one. No, we got one more. And if you're welcome to stand and gather around if you want to kind of be here for this historic moment. It's coming. No, Tony, it's right over here. Tony, we got it. Oh, he's got it. You. Thank you for joining us here. That kind of concludes this formal ceremony. As I said, if you're one of our partners from Sacramento, our construction team partners, our foundation board members, supporters, TRPA City, we're going to do a number of these photos, so stick around. You're welcome to linger. Also, the library is open. Laura, I'm going to hand you the mic so you can get the right folks up here.
Okay, now we're going to do the Okay, now the Board of Trustees. Yeah. Okay. Oh, right here, right here. Yes. Yes. If you're here from Sacramento, please come on over. Department of Finance, Andy from the League, Chancellor's office, Ronnie, Pam and Sonia. Panarea, we'd love to have you in this picture too. Come on, Andy. Okay. Okay.
Next, we have our partner agencies. We'd love to have our representatives from TRPA come over and join us for a photo. Also, Russie. You can, yeah. Yes. A few minutes. We're gonna. TRPA. I think Brandy is here, and oh yeah.
Oh, Karen Fink.
Karen Fink. I think I saw you.
She did have to go.
I caught my profile. Where's Jeff? Yes, you're in the next.
And wait, you're supposed to be this picture. Want me to do this? Go, go, go. I can do this.
Okay.
Go, B.
I'm not sure if this is what's happening.
Yeah,
Maybe go
do you
straight
know?
to the.
Alright.
She'll fight about it, but we need to get her.
Actually, I'm not. I would like to invite up anyone on the LTCC Foundation Board, and I would love to also have Roberta Mason come over and join for this picture, please. Next, you're next. Anyone on the LTCC Foundation? Lisa, that includes you. Okay, Foundation Board. Foundation Board.
Alright, so go ahead and just hold it up. Give it Angie. Throw it on the camera. 1, 2, 3.
If you are from an organization that supported this project, Heidi from TPC, Jude from Boys and Girls Club, the Tahoe Chamber, Bill Roby, El Dorado Community Foundation, the Foundation, Nancy Harrison, Barton Health. If you're from any of those organizations or one that I didn't mention that was a key supporter for this project, please come take a picture. Yes, Frank. Frank from Advance. Sorry. Yes, you can go. You can grab others. Yeah. Barton, yes.
Thank you for writing letters of support. They're done. It's possible. All right, look up at Angie. Throw it on the count. Friendly fire. Friendly fire.
I'd love to invite the building team up. Anyone from JK Architecture, Creekside, Cumming, BFI Inspections.
All of us? All of my team?
FW Carson.
Great job, Shelly.
There's 11 of us.
One with just leadership.
Okay.
I wanted to yell because I already could hear it.
You want to add the testing lab? And Cody.
Oh, sure, yeah, bring him over. What is his name? What is
Young Bell Consulting.
Young Doll Consulting. And also Russie, Darcy, and Amy from the LTCC team. And now if we could invite up the full Creekside Builders team.
Don't forget to switch arms. You want to balance it out, okay?
Everyone from Creekside, come on over.
Yeah, we're hanging.
Oh, yeah.
I got the memo.
Somebody told you what's up, but you.
I know what's up.
Put down that Westport stuff.
Ashley. Hey, Lisa, send Ashley over. Ashley. No, she'll have contact.
And then the senior leadership team for Lake Tahoe Community College. If I could get everyone on SLT to come over.
Colorado Community Foundation. They would like a copy of our
Oh, look at that. Oh, fancy. Okay,
right hand out.
Okay.
All right, now everybody get a little jerk. Get it up. Lift up. Look at Angie. Stop here. You don't listen very well.
We're like, who's in charge?
I'd be managing them all.
Yeah. Emily.
Anyone from the LTCC Student Services team? Antonio, we'd love to have you in a picture. Also the LTCC Russie's team. Amy, Roy, Darcy, Al. Roy and George. Felix, are you here? Yeah. If there's anyone else here that would like to take a photo with the shovels and the dirt, please come on over.
Brandy, I got yours. You got yours, right? Yeah.
Okay. Where's the last two in there? Oh. Sure, one more.